So many different times in my life, I've played with broken or hurt things, broken foot, broken leg, broken hand, broken arm, broken sternum, broken collarbone. I could keep going if I just thought more about bones. Why, man? Because I loved it. I loved playing the game. I was passionate about it. One of the reasons I even get encouraged at seeing all of you here. Do you know why I get encouraged by that? Is because you could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you. And they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zuttner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
Mr. Clyde started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. Now we here.
What we're going to talk about here is we're going to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship, what it is and what it is not. Cool? What it is and what it is not. So first off, what's the definition of an entrepreneur in your mind, guys? If you had to define it your own version here. Anybody? Somebody who finds a problem? Okay. So let me read you my definition of an entrepreneur, okay? A true entrepreneur is somebody who seeks to profitably solve a problem that the world has in exchange for enough monetary compensation to achieve their dreams. Let me try it again. The true entrepreneur is someone who seeks to profitably solve a problem that the world has in exchange for enough money, enough monetary compensation to achieve their dreams. Make sense?
Yeah.
So like if you solve a problem and you don't make enough money solving the problem, you're not really an entrepreneur. You're like somebody who is, I don't know what you're doing. You're like you're basically somehow staying busy, but not really doing anything because you still have one problem left. You don't have any money, right? So if you're solving the world's problems, but you don't have any money. Have you met somebody like this before?
Yes.
What causes that? I know a lot of people. We're out there, we're trying to solve the world's problems, but Abraham Lincoln says this. What's Abraham Lincoln's quote about the poor? Abraham Lincoln said the best way to help the poor is to not be poor. Oh, sweet Abe. So the thing is that you can't help other people if you can't help yourself, right? I know a lot of people that are videographers, designers, insurance agents. They're muffler repair guys. And they're out there fixing everybody's muffler, doing everybody's website, doing everybody's insurance, not making a dime. Well, they're like, I'm an entrepreneur. Well, no, you're not really solving any problems because you still have your own problem. Make sense? So that's a huge, huge issue. Now, here's a definition that Webster gives us. I disagree with Webster's definition, but I'm going to go ahead and share it with you guys, okay? Webster says, one who organizes, manages, and assumes the risks of a business or enterprise. That's what Webster says. Webster says, one who organizes, manages, and assumes the risks of a business or enterprise. To me, while I disagree with that, is because it sounds like that this person here is that all they're doing is they're taking risk and they're managing stuff. So by that definition, in my opinion, I could jump out of an airplane without a backpack and then like yell orders as I'm going down, and I could be an entrepreneur, or I could, anybody who, being risky isn't a good thing. Have you ever heard people say, well, you got to risk money to make any money, you got to have some risk there? Well, that's not necessarily true. So as seen through the call campaign, let's give an example of this. When you guys call people, what's the number you found? Like how many calls do you have to make before you usually reach somebody? Anybody want to talk about that? 20 or 30 before you reach somebody, right? Is it a risk? You kind of know at this point. I call 20 people, I get a hold of one, and when you get a hold of 2 people, how many will donate something? 1 out of 2? 2 out of 2? 1 out of 2. Is it possible that same ratio could translate into like selling insurance or into something else? Yeah? Well, if you're just like crazy risky and you have no idea what your ratios are, and you're like, well, I'm just calling and I'm just risky, and that doesn't really help anybody, right? So we want to make sure that we look at an entrepreneur. What is an entrepreneur? Okay, this is somebody who's solving a problem in exchange for monetary compensation to achieve their dreams. So some of you guys on this campaign are learning some really powerful skills here, are we not? How many of you feel like, honestly, right now, if you had to get a job after college, and you could get a list of like 400 employers that you could call until you found a job at this point? I have a very good friend of mine who went to college. He gets out of college. I was telling the story to one of you guys. He's making like 6 figures a year out of college at ORU. I got another buddy of mine who went to ORU, and he's not making anything. And it has nothing to do with ORU. It's a great education. But one guy applied at 4 places, got rejected by 3. The first person that said yes, he took it. Now he's a bank teller. Now the other guy is like, no, I know what I want. I'm going to cold call until I get a PR job. So his first job is right in San Francisco, working for a huge PR firm. But he just had that ability to. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we got to learn that. The third here says the definition of an entrepreneur that I keep hearing all over the place. I keep hearing this at colleges, not just this college, okay? This is what I hear all the time. They say, my son is an entrepreneur, and he's sleeping on the couch. So I hear these people that graduate from, he's currently sleeping on my couch. You say, I'm an entrepreneur. I graduated from ORU 2 years ago, and now I'm an entrepreneur. What do you do? Well, I live with my parents. Okay. So an entrepreneur, you hear a lot of these people say an entrepreneur is, I'm an entrepreneur, and that's because I can't find a jobby job, right? You don't want to be that person. How many of you know someone like that who's graduated and now they're at the couch? They've been promoted to couch status, right? That's not a good thing. And why is it that some people can't find a job?
They don't have.
Oh, what?
They don't have.
What did you say, you offensive man? What did you say again?
They aren't looking.
They aren't looking. Oh man. So here's the thing. There's a statistic out here that says 18%. Some studies say 10%. Some say 7%. Somewhere between 17 and 10% of our population is unemployed. You've heard these stats? And they say some people quit looking, so they're not unemployed anymore. They're just getting welfare, and then somebody else is still. But you just said the reason why people can't find a job is because they're not looking. Do you guys feel after this kind of, imagine you put this kind of tenacity into your job finding. What if every ORU student put this kind of energy into their job finding after they graduate? What if you literally made a list and you're like, all right, I'm setting up a call campaign mounted from my dorm room, and I will make 100 calls per night for 5 hours a night for 7 days until I find a job. Would you find a job? Yes. But for some reason, we only apply to 4 jobs, we get rejected by 3, and we take the first one. Make sense? So if you start hearing a lot of your buddies go, I'm an entrepreneur, what are you doing? Well, I'm trying to make a new iPhone app. Really? What do you do? I live with my parents, and I'm trying to make an iPhone app. That's not an entrepreneur. Okay? Another definition of an entrepreneur, okay? I keep hearing this from stagnant people, okay? This is one who works the same 40 hours per week, takes the same amount of sick days and holidays every year, okay? Yet expects to receive significantly more because they're taking risks. So you get these guys who graduate from college or any other college, and they graduate, right? And they still have the employee mindset. Now, how many people here feel like if you were to make double the amount of calls, you might be able to make double the amount of donations? You know, but you get a lot of people who run out here. I'm just telling you this because when you graduate from college, your temptation will be like, well, I want to be an entrepreneur. A lot of you guys want to do that. That's great. But you're going to have a new level of tenacity there. You're going to have a new level of tenacity that you're going to have to bring if you want to become an entrepreneur. Some of you guys said you want to do your own ministry. You want to be, who here wants to be self-employed or have your own ministry or some kind of business? I'm just trying to tell you, Lori Montag is one of my friends who invented the Zany bands. And it's the slap watches. They sold $60 million of stuff. And she said that if as an entrepreneur, you can choose whatever 60 hours a week you want to work. But I'm just telling you guys, you're going to have a different level of intensity if you're going to be an entrepreneur. You can't be like that stagnant person who's wanting to. I mean, do you think Oprah's working like she's going, well, it's 5, I'm out of here? No. I mean, these people are aggressive, right? So I want to point that out to you guys. As a team here, we had one guy in the last semester who actually got here a little bit early because he wanted to win the thing. So I get here and he's already been on the phone for like an hour. Like, really? Is that allowed? Sure, you know. But he was like, I'm going to get that prize. I don't care. Someone's going to call some extra. Well, somebody else is like, well, did he run that by you? I'm like, no. But you know what I mean? It's the entrepreneur mindset. It's like, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to win this thing. Does that make sense? Okay. Other definition of an entrepreneur. This is the one I keep hearing from the crying, disorganized, let's make the world a better place as I live in poverty person. This is a group of people who they want to be an entrepreneur by just giving stuff away. Have you met people like this, or have you ever thought like this? You know, you're like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and I'm just going to go around the world and giving away stuff. Have you met this? Or I'm going to start a ministry, so I want you to give money to my ministry, and then I am never going to ever do anything to generate some value. So I know people who've graduated from college who have a very valuable ministry. They're out there offering value to people. They're sacrificing their time and energy. They're in Africa. They're helping. And I know other people. Have you met the guy who's got the full-time ministry who doesn't actually do anything? Have you met that guy? I've met that guy. So again, that's not an entrepreneur just finding a full-time way to offer limited or no value to people. Okay? Other definition of an entrepreneur, okay, this is huge. This is the deeply in debt entrepreneur. This is the one who buys things all the time to write them off. Have you met this person? They're like, well, it's a write-off. I'm buying a new printer, it's a write-off. I'm buying a new car, that's a write-off. I'm going to auto-wrap my car, that's a write-off. Have you heard this person before? Have you met this person? Have you met this guy? They're excited to get a business loan. You've probably met somebody, right, who went out and started a restaurant after college, a can't miss business. And they're like, I'm just going to write it off. And then you're like, whoa, you have no money now, right? So being the perpetual write-off guy is also not being an entrepreneur, okay? So, and then a couple more. These are kind of unique to ORU sometimes, but you have the ultra-religious. I have no idea what's going on, but if I pray hard enough, money will come to me, entrepreneur. Have you met that person? Okay. Now, if it wasn't ORU, if you go to another college, it's going to be the lottery guy. You know, I'm going to play the lottery as fast as possible, and eventually I might win something. Okay, but at ORU, sometimes you'll see people who are like, well, I'm just praying, and I know that if I pray hard enough, that money will come to me, and it'll be great, right? But you guys through this campaign, if we sat here and prayed as hard as possible, do we think the phone would ring? It could ring, right? But we have to do it in the natural, and then let God do the what? Supernatural, right? So some of you guys on the phone, and I'm going to pick on Matt for a second, because Matt, you're doing this now, and I'm just picking on you because you can handle it. I'm giving this to you as a gift that doesn't feel good. Here we go. You in the natural sounded like you were frustrated at first. So then people in the natural would respond with frustration, and therefore you would not get a donation. Make sense? But now in the natural, you sound like you are having a good time. So in the natural, people want to hear what you're saying, and then God can do His thing. Does that make sense? So it's really important that you guys here on campus, you do in the natural what you can, and if you believe in God, that you let Him do the supernatural. But have you met the guy? You probably have someone in your dorm room, or maybe it's you, where you have found yourself not sending out resumes or not applying for scholarships and just praying for one. Have you done this or known someone who's done this? I know a lot of people that did. Maybe you guys just know new people that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I just pray that there'll be a way that God will help me stay in college this semester. What are you doing? Well, I don't have a job and I'm not really willing to work on the campaign because I'm on break. Right? Now you guys are a little bit of you guys are kind of like the honey badgers. You're choosing to give up your break. How many of you have friends who thought you were crazy to give up your break to be on the phone? How many of you know people who should be on the phone right now but are on break? Right? So you guys are doing in the natural what you can do, which is you're letting God do the supernatural. That's huge, right? But you guys are, does it make sense though? We have to do that. And the final one I'm gonna give you here, okay? This is the definition of the entrepreneur that says, I'm really dense and I will not read a book or work for a boss ever because I know everything and I want to own my own business guy. Have you met this person? They will not ever read a book. They definitely don't want to work for someone else because they want to be their own boss. And they're just kind of chronically struggling. Okay? So those are the definitions of what an entrepreneur is not. So kind of looking at that, what you want to do is you want to look through these and you want to circle the ones where maybe you're a little bit guilty of thinking that way. Maybe you're a little bit guilty of being like, I don't care what I'm going to have to do. I just want to be my own boss. And you're like, well, how do you plan on becoming a good boss? Well, I'm not going to read anything and I'm not going to study, but I am going to just be self-employed. Or maybe you're the person who sat there in your dorm room and just prayed for the next scholarship, but you're not applying. Or maybe, think about those, okay? And I want to give you this final little definition. This is from Thomas Edison, okay? He says, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Now, who is Thomas Edison? Anybody?
The guy who invented the light bulb.
He invented the light bulb. Is this true? Cool. What else did he do? He invented the... Oh, man. We're going to have some kind of new onboarding process for freshmen. Okay, what is it? He invented the recorded audio.
Nice.
So, the fact that you can hear sounds, back music. And he also invented the video. He's the first guy to video something. Okay, so Thomas Edison is the audio, video, and light guy. How different would college be without that guy? Do you have any idea? Somebody take a guess at how many failed experiments he had before the light bulb came to fruition.
3,000?
10,000 logged by his team. 10,000. If you were to fail every day, how many times would you have to fail every day if you wanted to fail 10,000 times in a year? Think about it. It's a lot, big number. 33. Would it be 33? 33 a day? 33 a day? It'd be like 33 every day. But he didn't do it every day. It took him years, right? Could you imagine making 33 cold calls a day and never getting a yes for a year? Could you do it? Because if you did, you still wouldn't have failed as many times as Edison did on an experiment, right? So what I want to encourage you guys is, now did he get discouraged?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm going to tell you guys. This is my gift to you as we get back on the phone here, okay? Think about this, okay? He found a way that every single time that he got discouraged, he somehow misunderstood the word and he got encouraged. Like every time that he got discouraged, he somehow found himself getting encouraged. Does that make sense? Like it almost like fired him up. It almost fueled him. Does that make sense to you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Every entrepreneur that I've ever met who's successful, there are two things, and you guys have probably met them too. They're either one, extremely dumb, like crazy dumb, like, wow, I can't believe they can drive a car dumb, or they're numb, where they just don't process rejection. They're like, what? And you're like, bro, you just got told no 900 times. So there's a chance? That kind of thing. So you're saying there's a chance. So on the campaign tonight, honestly, look about how many of you have got a little bit discouraged so far today because you had some no's early on? But what if you had Thomas Edison level of that? What if you just decided, where do you get this from? Do you have to buy that kind of mindset? No, you just have to decide, right? Do you think this college would even exist if Oral Roberts didn't have that same kind of delirium where he was just crazy and he believed that he was put on the earth for a reason and he's just going to make it happen? Does that make sense? So we've got to have that sort of contagious enthusiasm on the phone. Does that make sense? Now this is what's happened tonight, and we'll get back on the phone. I want to make sure you hear this. Some of you have been rejected. How many people have been rejected at least 4 times tonight? And some of you've got a little quiet. Every time you get a rejection, you get quieter, like you're getting hit with a hammer. And you're kind of like, hello, is the amazing John there? And you're starting to get like more and more down, the more and more rejections you get, which causes you to be down more. Does that make sense? So we've got to find a way to misunderstand the word discouragement and view it as encouragement, okay? So we're going to get on the phone now, okay? And we're going to call for this, an uninterrupted hour of power. And what I'm looking for is I need to see if, how many donations did you get last hour? 3? Okay, $25 to someone who can get 5 this hour. 5 this hour, $25? $25 is the first one to get 5? You got it? Miss Hurd, you got it? Okay, $25. Let's do it, okay? Let's make it happen. Let's get aggressive. Yes.
JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma. During the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, 2024, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop. Yes, folks, put it in your calendar. This December, the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business growth workshop. Whoa. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Folks, I'm telling you, if you want to learn branding, you want to learn marketing, you want to learn search engine optimization, you want to learn social media marketing, that's what we teach at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop. If you want to learn accounting, you want to learn sales systems, you want to learn how to build a linear workflow, you want to learn how to franchise your business, that is what we teach at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to feature Michael Levine, the PR consultant of choice for Nike, for Prince, for Michael Jackson. We've had the top PR consultant in the history of the planet has spoken at the Thrivetime Show workshops. We've had Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, a company that creates apparel worn by celebrities all throughout the world. Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, has spoken at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshops. We have had the man who's responsible for turning around Harley Davidson, a man by the name of Ken Schmidt. He has spoken at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops. Folks, I'm telling you, these events are going to teach you what you need to know to start and grow a successful business. And the way we price the events, the way we do these events, is you can pay $250 for a ticket or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes! We've designed these events to be affordable for you, and we want to see you live and in person at the 2-day interactive December 5th and 6th Thrivetime Show Business Workshop. Everything that you need to succeed will be taught at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Workshop, December 5th and 6th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the way we do these events is we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a question and answer session so that wonderful people like you can have your questions answered. Yes, we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a 15-minute question and answer session. It's interactive. It's 2 days. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've been doing these events since 2005, and I'm telling you, folks, it's going to blow your mind. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop is America's highest rated and most reviewed business workshop. See the thousands of video testimonials from real people just like you who've been able to build multi-million-dollar companies. Watch those testimonials today at thrivetimeshow.com. Simply by clicking on the testimonials button right there at thrivetimeshow.com, you're going to see thousands of people just like you who've been able to go from just surviving to thriving. Whoa. Each and every day, we're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup, but I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And so it says Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrivetime Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look him up. and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done this show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
First of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And I said, no. And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed to the business owner to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there, too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much. And thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.